Yeah, I'm gonna fix that problem.
We are live. Okay, everyone, okay, here we go. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the City Commission regular scheduled meeting along with our CRA meeting. Today is May 14th, 2026. It is approximately 6:01 p.m. With that, I'm going to go ahead and Commissioner Moore, if you would please lead us in invocation. Please stand if you are able.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, once again, we want to thank you for waking us up this morning to a brand new day. We thank you for your grace and your mercy. We thank you for everything that you've done for us in the past and what you're going to do in the future. We ask that you be with us this evening as we make decisions that will help our community. We ask that you help us to be fair and honest. We ask that you be with us, help us to make decisions that will be best for all of us. And Father God, we'll forever praise you, and we'll forever magnify you, we'll forever give you the highest praise because you're worthy of all praise. These blessings we do ask in our Son Jesus' name.
Amen. I pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you would please do a roll call for us.
Commissioner Lisa King DeVito. Present. Commissioner Linda Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Cynthia Burton. Here. Assistant City Manager, CRA Manager Bonnie Loveday.
Here.
City Manager Derek Martin.
Here.
City Attorney Donald Holmes.
Here.
Putnam County Sheriff's Office Major Ussery.
He is here.
He is here.
He's around.
Finance Director Steve Conklin.
Here.
Code Enforcement Officer Pam Taylor. Present. Vice Mayor William B.J. Laurie.
Present.
Mayor Michelle Myers.
Present.
Mayor Myers, we have a quorum for this evening. I would like to introduce to the commission and the citizens our new city clerk, Sharita Belcher. Ms. Belcher, after 7 long months, thank you, I found you. Mr. Holmes, I do think very much so. She's going to be able to keep up with Mr. Martin's hyperlinks very well. Very well. Her IT skills are impeccable.
Welcome and enjoy the challenge.
Wonderful. Sharita, we welcome you, and we were just so thankful that you came back after lunch that first day. We were all kind of a little nervous, sweating out a little bit, but thank you. You were just, when you walk into the office, you can just feel the positive energy. And so we welcome you here. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to working with you. And Melanie, thank you. We appreciate all that you've done for us, lifting up our spirits, keeping us going, keeping us straight, trying to keep others straight. And thank you. And you know you will be missed, and we just wish you much success in your next endeavor.
Thanks, ma'am.
With that, I've got a lot of announcements. Now, everybody just be patient with me for just a minute, please. To start off with, next week, May 17th through 23rd, is Public Works Appreciation. And so everyone, if you're out and about and you see anybody in our Public Works Department, please give them an attaboy. Thank them for all that they do, especially as we're coming into this time of the year when it's very warm out there. And they're there all day long, and they make sure that this city, to the best of their ability, that it looks good, and they take care of us. They take care of us, and so we greatly appreciate them here, and I know the public appreciates them as well. So please make sure they know that if you see them in and about. The Women's Club has got several big events coming up. Saturday, May 16th, they have a barbecue, everyone, from 11 o'clock until it is out. And they are serving half chicken with 2 sides. It's $15. Everyone, please go out and support the Women's Club. They also have Bunko, which is going to be this Wednesday, at next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. It's at 1 to 3, and it is $6 to play Bunko. They have bingo this Friday, May 15th. Their schedule's a little off because we've had an extra week, I believe. So that's going to be at 5 o'clock, the doors open, and at 5:45, bingo starts. So don't be late, be in your seat and have your cards ready. The Fruitland Peninsula Historic Society on Thursday, May 21st, which is next Thursday at 4 o'clock at the Women's Club building. They're gonna have their annual potluck dinner. It's always some great fixings, so make sure if you, if you're interested in the Historic Society, I don't know, are you going to have a special speaker this time?
We will have a speaker.
No speaker, just dinner, just fellowship. That's just fellowship, okay. We've got Pups, Kids, and Kayaks, which will be coming up June 6th at Dexter Beach. It's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it'll go until 4 o'clock. The last launch for the kayaks will be at 2:45. Last year was our 4th year, and we had record numbers. I believe we had right at about 454 children and adults there. They gave out, I believe, over 80 fishing rods. Lee Dayton and Cheryl Dayton, they are residents here, and Lee does that with the help of the sheriff's office and sponsors that have done that. And so he teaches the children how to fish, and they are so excited about that. And we just really thank Putnam County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Gator Deloach, for what he has done to support our youth here in Crescent City. It's a big event, come out, it's not just for the children, it's fun to be there. And we have vendors, they will have vendors for food for the adults. Graduation from the high school will be May 28th at 7:30 p.m. And then June 13th, we have the music event. As many of you know, the music event that we had scheduled with Mr. Evans' group a few weeks ago, he predicted rain, and sure enough, it rained. And it rained a lot, thankfully. So they have rescheduled that for June 13th from 4, gates open, I guess everything opens up at 4 o'clock. Music starts at 6. It's going to be an evening event, and the Atlantic City Boys will be performing along with, I believe, some others. We have Juneteenth, which I'm going to ask Ms. Duke to come up and speak about when I get done with this, but I'm going to ask you if you come up and just tell us a little bit about that. We also have the Yacht Club is doing their first poker run Saturday, May 23rd. It starts at 11 o'clock at the Boat Bar in Malacca. The cost is $10. They said come by boat, car, or motorcycle. Just come. So that's always a good time for everyone. I do want to share with everyone that we've extended our burn ban here in Crescent City. This is, I believe, the 3rd time for this most recent one. We just extended it this week. The county has also extended it, and the St. John's Water Management District has said we are still under extreme water shortage. I believe this for the below average rainfall for the 6 consecutive months. They're encouraging everyone to please conserve as much water as you possibly can. I do want to say that thank you to Miss Jane, that with Winn-Dixie, that she went in and she beat me to it. She talked to Larry about it, and she had someone help take it down, and we're going to be able to display it here in the commission meeting room. I don't know if any of you went into Winn-Dixie and you saw the big Crescent City logo and the aerial that I know Rachel helped with and others helped with. So that's going to be, we hope we're going to get it here on the wall. And then let's talk a little bit about soda. I don't see Mitch Adwell here, but was asked to just mention that we had our soda boat races. It was extremely well attended. At the last minute, it had to be moved, and everyone took great precaution with that. It was a huge turnout. The voters were so excited and can't wait to get back until be back next year. So I will say thank you to Mitch. He spearheaded that. He brought them back. And I also want to say, Melanie, thank you. You were very instrumental in helping him behind the scenes and get everything that you could. Of course, Derek, thank you. We've got Steve, you were there. A lot of our staff was there helping, making sure everything was run smoothly as it did. Cheryl Dayton, Lee Dayton, Lisa Roddenberry, Tina Richardson, but also all of our sponsors. We had so many sponsors for this, and with any of these events, you know, they really can't happen without the volunteers and the sponsors. We just want to thank all of our sponsors, as well as the Sheriff's Office. Thank you very much for your help and support with that. We had the Florida Wildlife Commission. Seaco showed up and said they were going to be here just on their own. They showed up to help out. Crescent City Yacht Club, of course, our fire and rescue, Crescent City Fire and Rescue, with special recognition to Captain Jeff LeClaire. On the drone footage, I don't know if any of you had a chance to see any of that, but I've heard it's pretty spectacular. And then the Putnam County School District for their help in the things that they allowed them to do. So with that, I just want to say thank you. And I think that is all that I have. Does the commission, do you have anything before I ask Ms. Duke to come up and speak? Everybody has anything? Okay. Ms. Duke, come on up. Tell us about Juneteenth, if you would, please. All of you should have that in your packet.
Good evening, everyone. Angel Duke, 404 North Lake Street in Crescent City, of course. I'm a new assistant that's been working with me for 3 weeks. He's been bringing our younger people now to be involved, and they're forming their own groups to support what we do. So, this Teak Week, we'll be reaching out to people in her age group up to 35 years old, from 20 to 35, bringing them on board. And she's worked with youth and the Board of Ed, and she'll be training them. And that takes the pressure off me alone for trying to do everything. God knows how that is. So now I can delegate responsibility to someone who is responsible. For everyone, this is Miss Teak Week.
Teak Week?
Week.
Okay.
W-E-E-K.
Okay.
We are here now to speak to you about Juneteenth. It may seem to be a little delayed, but as long as we have our posters up and flyers that you have by the 1st, which is what we had targeted, we're still on point with the assistance of her and some other people that's working with us. We were going to do the carnival, but we got looped into something that I wasn't familiar with. Because as soon as I set up a date with the gentleman who owned the carnival, he immediately sent me out a $4 million insurance certificate. He said, just to let me know he was a stand-up guy. But then after that, I didn't hear any more. And we were waiting and time is flying by. That's a little bit late, but come to find out, it was too good to be true. Because he never sent me the contract, and I spoke to city manager there, and I wouldn't dare put something out there without our contract being signed. So thus, he bit the dust, and we didn't hear from him. So we moved on with what we had. Juneteenth. You probably would say, what is Juneteenth? Most of you probably heard of Juneteenth, but it has a deeper meaning than just celebrating in the park and whatever. We get deeper to the brain set with Juneteenth so people can clearly understand the importance of this day and why it was made to be a federal holiday 2 years ago with President Donald Trump. This year, we decided to do something different. We always honor David Randolph and other locals and things of that nature. So I started thinking about things going on around the world. There's no peace, even here in our community. So I came up with the theme of give peace a chance. And that's gonna be the logo on the t-shirts, and I put it out there, and people are going crazy over it. Even those from Jacksonville and Ocala, they said, we want to be a part of this, because we need peace. So with that in mind, we'll talk about Juneteenth, the legacy of Juneteenth. And we have 9 young girls, different nationalities, and they're gonna be wearing their little diamond tiaras, and they'll be up on stage singing, all we are saying, give us a chance to get my voice. That's what these little girls and boys will be singing. And then we're gonna jump right into our program, and you guys will be getting a copy of that within the next week, the agenda, and hopefully you'll be able to attend, because it's gonna be something to be reckoned with. At 12 noon, as Lisa knows, we did it a couple years ago, where we asked every church in town, regardless of the denomination, to ring their bell on their church at 12 noon in recognition of this incredible event that we had in celebrating Juneteenth. We have day 3, we have collective designs, we have Katie Moody, we have those incredible African dancers from Guinea, West Africa. They had everybody up on stage dancing and wanting them to come back to teach African dancing, because the rhythm, for each rhythm has a meaning. So they'll be back, so there'll be a lot for you to enjoy, food galore, of course, different ethnic persuasions. I'm looking forward to it. I always say I look forward to the one that it's nice and cold or whatever. So we certainly hope that you'll come out and join us and be a part of this festivities. There's a lot more going on, of course, but you don't put that on your flyer. That's the element of surprise.
May I just say that your flyer says it's Saturday, June 19th?
So we Friday, June 19th, these are the draft. I want everybody to have a copy
I
tonight.
just wanted
I
to make
meant to
sure
say, thank you, I'll pick that
that
up.
wasn't out there for Saturday, because sometimes we just look at.
And then we're gonna do it on the holiday this
Yes.
time, Juneteenth. So thanks for picking that up also. But there's 2 more, but it was just a draft to get something to you guys,
Okay.
to review, to see who we are and what we're doing, and to meet my assistant, Ms. T. Week. The others couldn't be here because of time constraint, they're at work. But we promise you, it's gonna be something to be remembered by being there, okay? Does anyone have any questions? You got any comments?
Yes, no questions?
I just have questions for the city manager. Okay, so it's my understanding this is a federal holiday, it's a new holiday. Is it a city holiday? It's my understanding that Putnam County School District observes the holiday.
We will be observing the holiday as well.
Okay, so this will be a city holiday,
Yes.
Friday, June 19th.
Mhm. That's the
We did
official
last year.
It already is in
Juneteenth
our.
day.
It is.
Yeah, we did last year too.
You get a day out.
We did last year. Now, the churches, you're contacting all the churches about
Yeah,
ringing
you
your
said
bell.
you would contact some of the churches, is that still on?
I will.
Do well,
Yes.
and I give you the notification. We want as many churches as possible, any denomination, it doesn't matter. We just want those bells ringing, and that's gonna send a signal to our community as to who we are, what we are about, and the purpose of Juneteenth.
Well, thank you. Thank you always for your hard work in putting these together. So
I
thank you.
enjoy
We
it.
look
Thank you,
forward to it.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
We're gonna go to, at this time, if nobody has any other announcements, I guess no one has anything. I'm gonna go to public comments. I'm gonna open it up for public comments. If you have any public comments, I have one, but I believe it's on an agenda item. That's the only sheet that I have. If anybody wants to make a public comment, please come forward at this time, state your name and your address if you will. You, set this clock for 3 minutes if you would, please.
Elizabeth Gomez, 19 Cedar Street, and I wanted to tell the mayor that soda event was very nice. I had a great time. I had friends come over. We walk, and the main thing, we enjoy seeing all the families, all colors, all races were there enjoying, and people under the trees playing music with all the family, and it was very nice to see the community built by that event. And I'm just saying, that's the right place to continue holding the soda races. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Do we have anybody else that would like to speak? Hello and
Hello, my
welcome.
name is Sylvia McFarland. My address is 107A Breezy Point Lane, Crescent City, Florida.
Yes.
And I am very nervous right now because I didn't expect myself to do this, but I am from Pennsylvania and, I just moved here to Florida. And it's my first time and I don't even know where I'm at, but the city, meeting,
Yes, ma'am. City Commission meeting. Thank you.
city commission
And
meeting.
welcome. I think we've met on the street.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I
welcome.
remember you, Mayor, and, you're still as lovely as you
Oh,
were
bless
when I
you.
met you on the street. And also you, Lisa, I remember meeting you, it's a pleasure to see you again. But Liz brought me here, and Liz is a good friend of mine, and, I remember you also.
Yeah, okay.
But my reason for stepping up is to say that, me being from Pennsylvania and coming here to Florida, I gotta get used to the address, Crescent City, Florida. Is to say, I stepped up here to say that I, feel so good about what I'm seeing here tonight. And I'm gonna be honest and blunt, I'm talking about the diversity. It is just so beautiful to have us, like you said, even about the churches, all coming together. But no matter who's in the church, whether you're black, you're white, you're old, you're young, no matter who you are, no matter what nationality you are, you know? And I already see that here tonight. And I feel good. I feel like, I just feel proud of my city, Crescent City. It makes me feel good to see all you people here. And, it's a learning lesson for me, and so far, so good. I like what I'm learning.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
So, thank you tonight, and thank you for having the patience to listen to me and
Absolutely.
bear with me. Thank you, and I hope to see you all again.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing some positive. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Gerald Watson, 404 North Lake Street, Crescent City. I'd like to echo support for Juneteenth this year. I mean, it's an institution that's been in our community, been Angel Water for several years, and continues to grow and blossom. And this year, as she stated, it's going to be a very special year because part of the program is being done at the church. And what year was it when you had the program in the church before? 2015, the church was full. It was a great mixture, very diversified, and attendance, and it was a wonderful event. I just want to echo and thank you guys for your support and all that you're doing. Blast it out on all your social media as you can, just to get the word out. Crescent City is really proud to be able to host sponsor for Juneteenth in Putnam County for another year.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody else that wants to come forward and speak? Now's your opportunity. Okay, seeing nobody come forward, I'm going to close public comment at this time. We're going to go to our presentations. I skipped ahead a little bit, and Ms. Duke, but I could just tell she was just busting at the seams to talk to us about Juneteenth, so I wanted to make sure she did. So I don't think we have anything more on that. Commissioners, if you have no questions on this, okay. And then we've got before you, if you would, we do have ratification. We need to ratify we have a centurion in town, Miss Corrine Tillman. So if you'll give me an opportunity, and they were going to do they're doing a birthday party for her, a big celebration. I believe, Commissioner Moore, you asked us to do this for her. And so do you want to talk a little bit about this before I read the proclamation?
I know there's gonna be a special day on Sunday at 3:00 at Emmanuel, AME Church in Palatka. There is an article about her that was in the paper. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. It was a nice article. I remember the lady when I was a little girl going to a middle school, and she was a secretary. I remember her husband also was a truant officer that went out and found all the kids who missed school. He would go out and find them and bring them to school. But the lady, she has a lot of history in Crescent City, even though she didn't live here. She was here most of the time. So there's a lot going on. So if you want to go to a good celebration, be the church at 3:00 in Palaca. I'm not sure what street that is, but I have to look it up for you. But it's Emmanuel AME Church, the same church that Cynthia Aja goes to. It's her church member.
Well, thank you for asking us to recognize her. It was a wonderful article, and we could all, hope to live the life that she lived. I mean, just from the picture of her, I said, I wish I had an opportunity to meet her. Yes, I want to be like her. I want to be like her. So I'm going to go ahead, and if everyone's okay with this, I'm going to read this. So it's the City of Crescent City Proclamation 2026-02 honoring Miss Corrine Tillman Milton's 100th birthday. Whereas Miss Corrine Tillman Milton was born on May 12, 1926 in Baxley, Georgia, where she was raised, and she is celebrating the remarkable milestone of her 100th birthday this year. And whereas Miss Milton attended Georgia State College, now known as Savannah State University, and in 1957, she relocated to Palaca, Florida from Baxley, Georgia with her husband, Vernon Tillman, the first Black deputy sheriff and truant officer for the Putnam County School District, and their daughter, Billy Singleton, a retired educator. And whereas Emmanuel United Church recognizes Miss Milton as a faithful and devoted member who has served as an usher, choir member, treasurer for many years, and who continues her dedicated service on the church finance committee. And whereas Miss Milton served as executive secretary at Middleton High School in Crescent City, Florida, under Principal Harry Burney Sr. from 1963 to 1969, and later became the first Black employee at the district office in Putnam County, faithfully serving the community for 30 years until her retirement in 1991. And whereas Miss Corrine Tillman Milton's century of faith, service, leadership, and her dedication has positively impacted countless lives and stands as an inspiration to the citizens of Crescent City and beyond. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Michelle Myers, Mayor of the City of Crescent City, do hereby recognize and honor Ms. Corrine Tillman Milton on the occasion of her 100th birthday and extend heartfelt congratulations and best wishes for continued happiness, health, and blessings. And thank you. So I need a motion.
I move that we approve proclamation 2026-02.
Okay.
Second.
We have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor? I'll do a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay. So approved. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to do that. I heard something on Sunday for everyone. It's not what you gather in life, it's the people that you made a difference in their lives. So I know she's made a big difference in everyone's life. So thank you for that.
The church is 700 Main Street in Palaca.
700 Main Street in Palaca.
So
Okay.
intersection Main and 7.
Thank you very much. And with that, I do want to say that we're going to have a presentation. As we all know, our Winn-Dixie is closing. And I spoke to Larry, who honestly, Larry could be the mayor. If he lived in Crescent City, none of us would be able to run against Larry. He would, by all means, be the mayor. He has made such an impact in so many people's lives. We were working, and I told him I couldn't do anything until I talked to all the commissioners tonight, but we were going to surprise him next week. Unfortunately for him, he departed yesterday on a new journey, and but he assured me after he gets back from his vacation that he will come to the July meeting. And there we can honor Larry for the service he has given to this community. He has loved on everyone. And like I've said numerous times, he brought a hometown feeling to a big box store. And you don't get that, seldom do you get that from, especially from our big grocery stores. So with that, everyone, he will be here at the July meeting. Please share it with everyone. I'm gonna reach out to our other leaders. I've spoken to Holly Pickens about it as well. And we'll make sure that Commissioner Newbold and anybody else, please bring them in. I know the Rotary, all the Rotary members, so everybody, I think it will mean a tremendous amount to Larry. It won't be a surprise. It's kind of hard to get him back here as a surprise, but yes.
And Mayor, just his full name, although
Larry
everyone knows
Court.
Larry, is Larry Court,
Yes.
C-O-U-R-T. Okay.
Yeah, most people know him as Larry. But yes, Larry Court. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to the Sheriff's Office. Major Essery, you're on. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. The mayor took most of the things I was gonna talk about,
Oh, I'm
so,
sorry.
that's okay. That's okay, you covered it for me, so you made my time a little quicker. We'll move into my report, and I'll take any questions after that. We had a burglary off of 804 Randolph Street. The suspects went in the front of a residence and stole a gaming system, one of those VR systems, which we think it's going to be a child. We do have persons of interest in this case that we are actively seeking. Second, how did I do that? Yeah.
It might have been the same.
This was a different address, but it was right around the corner. The gentleman who had the house there, we'd been gone for about a year and came back to the home and it was vandalized. And when I say vandalized, it was everything in that home was vandalized. Nothing was taken, but it was vandalized. And again, this seemed to be something that a child would do. The guy's a nice guy. I don't see why he would have any enemies, but I just think that some kids in this house there for a while and figured they'd take advantage of what they thought was a good time and was very tragic for someone else. But they went into the house and obviously vandalized the interior of the home. We do have active persons of interest we're looking at in this case as well. Sorry for the mess up there.
Was that, Division Street?
Ma'am, yes, Division,
On
sorry.
Division Street.
Traffic activity, Summit Magnolia, vehicles coming out of the parking lot and turning in front of somebody else. It seems like we're seeing a lot of lately is people just not paying attention. They look on the road and don't think they see anything and they're not taking the time. They're getting a little bit in a hurry, distracted driving. Next one was at a 900 block of Oakwood Street. This car just ran off the road and it vanished. So that was all we had for the month of April. General activity, 232 calls for service, 40 of those being traffic stops, 2 traffic accidents, 10 total reports, 10 arrests, and one warrant affidavit was sent to the state attorney's office. And when you see those arrests there, we've had some, anybody has seen here, we've had some recent increase in police activity because of what's been going on, a couple of burglaries we've had in Crescent City. Unfortunately, we had a perfect storm happen, and we had some individuals who are residents of Crescent City that just were released from custody, and we are actively seeking those said individuals, trying to get them back in jail, so it's a matter of time. I'll leave that at that. Again, we had the 2 reportable crimes that we talked about. We're looking at robbery, burglary, vehicle theft, aggravated assault, and the total was 2 for the month. Doing really good in those categories. At some point, I may take those categories off because it looks like for almost a year, we have had really nothing in those categories. So just to shorten that up, and if something does come up, I can obviously address that. And that's all I have for now. Any questions?
Do you have any questions of the Mayor, Commissioner DeVita?
Yes, I have one. Major, thank you. I don't know if you want to speak to it, but there was a recent lockdown at Middleton Bernie.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, do you want to speak to that? Has the person been apprehended, or is that all still in progress?
Again, the statement I made earlier is what I was talking about. That's who we're actually trying to track down right now. So there was another residential burglary where obviously technology caught this suspect in the house. You've probably seen our recent release on social media where we showed the individual on a thing. It was kind of grainy, so it's hard to see. If he's watching, we know who you are. So run as far as you can, particularly out of Crescent City, and stay out of it. But that was what the schools were locked down for. the individual seen somebody in their house on camera, and our deputies got there very quickly, multiple deputies got there very quickly. Unfortunately, he was faster than our deputies, and he outran them. He left behind some very items that were distinct, that was able to identify him and his partner, and that's what the lockdown was for, and that's what all the helicopters and the K9s and all that other stuff was for. So I think we had 26 people here during that whole time span, 2 air units, 3 K9s, so
You could
a
tell
lot of
me,
manpower.
you could tell he knew he'd been caught just from the way he immediately.
Sorry, time
He
span.
saw, he must have seen the
Yeah,
camera,
this
so.
technology, I tell you, I think that the technology has certainly took an impact in crime, especially property crimes. If people don't have cameras these days, as cheap as they are and as good as they are, they're going down the wrong path, so those things are helpful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't mean to take anything away from you, but do you want to talk about cops, kids, and kayaks?
You said about everything, Mayor. Obviously, we're gonna have multiple vendors there. It's always a good time every year. It's an awesome experience. So I would encourage you, if you don't have anything going on out there, or if you do have anything, change your plans and kind of see what it's about. It's a lot of fun.
And your staff, they start working this months in advance and really pull it together, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else? Anybody have any other questions for the major? If not, thank you, thank
I
you.
do have one more
Yes,
thing
sir.
also. I have tasked my training unit with some additional stuff that we had spoke of earlier in the week. So I'll be getting back to you guys and working with Derek and that.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for keeping us safe.
Perfect.
I appreciate that. Okay, with that, at this time, I'm going to recess our regular scheduled meeting, and I'm going to open up our CRA meeting. So,
So currently, on the briefing sheet, I had 6 commercial projects that I was working on, but now we have 8. And I'm still getting more as they come. There is 2 residential applications out. So those are the ones that I'm working on. I have the addresses and just waiting for bids on some of them, insurance information, different things. But I'm welcoming all the way up until June 1st for the applications to come in. And they're steady coming in, and I've been reaching out to people for them.
okay.
Did you all have any questions about it?
Does anybody have any questions?
Yes,
Yes, go
about
ahead.
the abbreviation, the UBAME,
I have that
is that
circled too.
Union?
That's the
Union
church.
Bethel, okay.
Okay.
Union Bethel. Okay.
Which church?
The Union Bethel Church.
Okay. All right, because there's more than one church.
Okay.
In that
UPA,
particular area.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I was pretty sure what it was.
Okay.
And, is Commissioner Lori?
Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't sure, and I had asked this question of the city manager. What does it mean when it says project currently on hold?
Well, it was on hold for a minute. That was the UBAME, the church. But me and Angel have been talking, and we are going to go forward with that now. Oh, did you want Angel to speak on that? No. Okay.
You know, I didn't know what the briefing.
They've got a new pastor, and we're just working through that, but I think we're gonna go forward with that.
Mayor, I have just a question for the commission, because it's really a policy issue, I think in part. I was asking the city manager when I saw the briefing sheet, if I recall, we set aside money specifically for residential properties in the North CRA. And I didn't see any on this list, having made application. There is some significant blight, I think, near Harry Banks Park in single-family residences. And we talked about that at budget time. And it's my understanding from the city manager and assistant city manager that people are not applying. So, you know, my thought is maybe we should do something different with that particular area because before, when Christine Marie was still with us at budget time last year, I think we asked her, is the money needed there? And she said yes. Right, so if people aren't responding, and I understand that crime is an issue there, and I've heard that from people in the housing complex to the west, maybe we should reach out to them. Maybe the city staff should have a local meeting instead of, you know, just if they don't apply, then we don't do anything. And maybe we need to find out from them, have an informational meeting to find out, you know, our program says what the money is for, but should we ask the people in that neighborhood, what do you need? What would help? I even wondered, you know, could they use extra lighting there? Could we use the money for fencing? And I know it's been said in the past, and I think it was said recently, maybe, you know, insurance is a problem, but just for windows to make a house secure, I mean, I'm just really concerned. We've been worried about that area for a while. I just think maybe we should do something a little different.
I know that Christina Marie had worked with those homeowners, and it's those homes right there on Grove.
Right.
So it's the homes on Grove, and so have you responded to
Yes,
this?
ma'am, if I may. So we do have a list of targeted buildings. Each one of the targeted buildings on Grove, which is a handful, were canvassed. We went to their doors. We made contact with a few people, gave them the information. The others that did not come to the door, our manager left packets with cards. There is only so much we can do if people don't want to participate. But we have reached out via online, website, Facebook, and canvassed on foot to these addresses and properties.
Okay, but ma'am, what I'm saying is,
What's your suggestion? Tell me what you think that
Well-
we could do differently.
what I said is maybe we should change our program. Maybe we should request staff to schedule a local meeting at Harry Banks Park and invite people to come out and tell us what they need. And as well, just to assess the streetscape, because my experience being there and looking at the area, and y'all might have some ideas as well, is that maybe more secure fencing is needed and lighting. That would be something. I just think we need to go back to the drawing board. And I would like to see us, instead of giving people a packet about what we want to do, ask them what they think would help their neighborhood.
Well, and I don't know that the packet doesn't say what we think they should do. It
It's
talks
our
about,
program.
it's the topic, it's
Right,
the grant,
it's our
it's the
grant
grant
program. But there's a difference. We established a grant program on what we thought would work, and it's the same for all the 3 CRAs. Maybe something different is needed for the Grove Avenue area, because it has been in that condition, and I would just say subpar condition, for quite a few years. And, you know, maybe we need to hear from the residents.
I believe there's how many houses? Is it 5 houses, 6
I believe
houses?
it's 6 houses,
6
either 5 or
houses,
6,
houses
yeah.
there? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
So-
You have a couple that are actually not too bad of shape.
yeah.
I've been down there, I've talked to people over there too, and, you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head. If they really aren't interested in working with us, it's just very hard to do anything for them. Because I think we're pretty lenient with our grant programs. You know, we go in and talk to them and say, this is what we have to offer. We're extremely lenient. Now, I talked to somebody down the road who's, her house is all boarded up, every single window is boarded up. She's Hispanic, she answered the door and said, is there, you know, any way that we can help you and then we can put some new windows in? I don't want no windows, I like it just the way it is. And I said, okay, but we are here, if you change your mind.
My understanding, she felt safe that way. I
Yes.
think that was a safe thing.
So I mean, it really just depends on who you're working with.
And as we move forward with our workshops and looking at our budget, we do have some proposals that we're gonna put in front of you all to make some decisions. We've been working and tossed around a couple of ideas.
Well, I mean, for example, if if you're worried about your security, you don't have to have boards. You can have windows with bars that release inside. I mean, there are more attractive security options. And as well, I hate to think that there is a feeling that that area needs boards on the windows. I mean, to me, I think that's something we need to take notice of, and I appreciate Commissioner Burton bringing that forward. That's important.
Let's add one more thing to that, Mayor. Along with updating our website and our outreach, our transparency, we've touched base with some people. Some people just don't trust the government. They don't understand it, even if it is in black and white in writing, they think that there's a catch. I had somebody literally tell me they don't want to do it because they don't want to have to deal with the city at all. And it's not that our government is bad, they just don't want to have to pay money back or something happened. So that's the case here, I believe.
Are you good, Commissioner Topeka? I think that's something that,
I mean,
we can always improve. So I think for everyone, in this program, as we get input, we can always improve.
Yeah.
So if you do see something, please, by all means, if it's something that we need to address,
Yes,
that we can improve this grant process,
yes, ma'am.
please, let us know. If you're getting some feedback from homeowners, I think that that's important.
So,
I mean, personally, I would like to see us hold a workshop in the neighborhood. If we can't find an interior place, then we should have an exterior location.
Okay.
I think that would
I can work on
be
that.
very
That's something the
appropriate.
commission would like.
Now,
And, I mean, if no one comes, well, then
Yes,
we tried.
yes, Mr. Holmes.
It's a sensitive subject, so I pause before I say it because there is a bit of an issue with the government telling somebody when they need to do something because they're home.
Okay.
I mean,
We're all that way, yes.
most of us feel that way. They feel that way. They have a right to feel that way. However, having said that, if your CRA plan allows for it, you could provide for a program where if there are code violations that are there, your grant program might fund the remediation of the code violations. Now, I said I paused because, again, it's a backdoor way of forcing someone to do what they don't really want to do to their house. But for instance, the boarded up windows, I don't know if they have egress capabilities in the event of a fire, but if they don't, I mean, that's more than just a aesthetic issue, that's a safety issue.
Yes, that is a safety issue.
Ma'am?
I explained that to her when I talked with her, but it's a no-go, man.
But you're right, thank you. That's a great recommendation that we can look at. I noticed on here that residential properties, we have 2 of them that you received bids, but the property is not insured. Those, I believe, are both residential properties.
now, since that briefing, one of them did show me their insurance. One,
Which one?
the one on, Florida.
The one in Florida, okay. I know a lot of times right now, especially with our insurance, that's something that I think that we need to at some point talk about, that a lot of times they lose their insurance because of their roof and they can't get insurance. Or if they can get insurance, it's cost prohibitive. So that's something that might be an issue that maybe they're, especially over there, that maybe somebody with an insurance issue and they know that, because you have to have insurance. Our grant, I believe, says that you have to have insurance. You can't have any code violations. So those are some things that as you go forward, please make sure you just bring those to our attention, and if there's something that we need to. But I would like to say that regardless, whenever we have these grants come to us for evaluation, that please include some of these, like those 2 properties that, have applied, but for whatever reason. And so when we're out on our golf carts, because I think we all agreed that we would do it like we did last time, we go visit the properties.
Yes.
that we could at least see those, so we have our eyes on them and kind of know what maybe their needs are. Okay,
So when we bring the criteria to you, the matrix that we built includes that criteria for grading, so you all will know.
Okay.
Every peak, every one.
I just don't want them not to be included.
Yeah, they will be included. Yes, ma'am.
And she's also getting, and several of them are going through rebuild too, so getting other work done.
Okay. We have any other questions on that?
The most recent CRA meeting, there was 8 people, including Bill Lazar, president of the St. John's Housing Partnership. He has sent me multiple trainings and things like that that I'm following up on. More applications are steady coming in. I know because we have only got 2 weeks left to my deadline, so, but they're coming in now. And I've been having meetings with multiple business owners about available grants. A digital database has been created for the North, Central, and South CRA using county public records. We've got the database for the CRA and the Historical Society project, so that makes it easier for me. And we are coordinating with Ernie Evans on his event, so that's been exciting. And that's gonna be on June 13th. And that's about all I've got, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you said that you met with Bill Laser, president of the St. John's Housing Partnership. Did we have like a?
He came to the CRA meeting.
Right.
So I used to work with him in St. John's County. He does so much good for the community in St. John's County, and he is buying the apartments, I think I gave you the information, next to Winn-Dixie.
Yeah.
Winn-Dixie, yeah, it's called the
No, it's not next to Dixie. You told me it's Crescent Lake
Crescent Lake.
Apartments and it's on Oakwood.
Oakland.
Yes.
Right, it's actually closer to Dollar General.
Yes, he's very involved with the neighborhood up there, and he wants to be involved in Crescent City. So he does make a difference day up there where they paint houses, and he has a lot of great things to show me how to coordinate with the neighborhood and how to get people involved. So I'm excited about working with him too.
So when's his next date when he comes back to Crescent City?
He was here the other day getting a permit, yeah, so he was
So
here.
he's
He's
actively
here,
down
he's
here.
actively down here, yeah.
That's all good stuff.
That's good stuff, thank you.
And as we build this criteria, go grading these, and we look at these projects, there's some that he said, of course, where the CRA can't touch, he'll be able to help these people and individuals. So we're getting them in touch with other resources as well.
Right,
Anything we can do to help the people in the community, that's basically our push.
weatherization,
Yeah.
windows, and all kinds of things.
Security,
And all different programs that he knows about that he's.
Yeah, it could be very much an asset.
Absolutely.
It's a good resource, for
Yeah,
sure.
good resource for-
Yes, absolutely.
That's great. Because we have needs all over
Yes, we
the
do.
city, and most of them don't fall within the CRA.
Correct.
And so, you know, Dave, and I know with our SHIP program here in Putnam County, if you've ever been in that room when they release those applications, but it is packed, it's very difficult to get in line for those. So anything else that we can bring to Crescent City would be great. Does anybody have any other questions? No, thank you.
And with that,
I do have one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
While it's maybe not it's not CRA, but it is within the central CRA district. And if you can give us kind of an update on where we are with the rezoning, I know there's a lot of questions out there, and I talked to you about getting a pro and con for those residents that might be a little
Yes, ma'am.
weary of it and want to know more.
I just recently received the information, a fact sheet, if you will, on the pros and cons. I'll be releasing that to the commission tomorrow. It's just under review right now. But basically where we're at is that it's set up next week for Thursday night to be brought to the planning and zoning in order to have a first look on where they're at on their mapping and where the CD stands. So it would be approved and pushed towards the commission for approval.
I'm sure you commissioners, you're hearing from property owners, that this is going to impact. So if you would, have you sent that out to the commission?
I have not, I was gonna send it out tomorrow, I just received it.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Great. You would send that out to them so that if they have, so they're educated on it too. So if we have any questions, we can make sure that
Yes, ma'am,
we can help with that. And otherwise, we're gonna send them on to.
absolutely.
Do we have any other questions before?
Well,
It seems like Miss Angel would like to say something.
well,
She's gonna be the
Okay,
long
there,
time.
if I could.
Yeah. Yes.
Under, I don't know, I don't even think CRA is actually on, it says CRA. There was update on current status of grant applications, and then listed, it says update on Main Street and Crescent City Downtown Partnership. And so are we still?
Yes, she was
gonna
just
address
about
those
to,
things?
she was just,
Okay.
I just wanted to make
I
sure.
wasn't sure where we are.
Okay, no, she was just about to introduce her.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we were done with the first section.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
So with that, and in the meantime, Ms. Duke, do you have something to speak on what we're?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'll open it up for public
We have
comment.
it now.
Yeah, please come forward.
Thank you. As you were discussing, again, Angel,
do over North Street. The CRA funds relative to whether it's commercial, is it appropriate for the church to apply? And that is something I'm not quite clear on, because, city manager has 3 packages from us for UBAM, that's the United Methodist Church, we call it a Randolph Church. I'm gonna stand still now because we wanna get these 3 top termite killers, we wanna call them that, termite guys. And then we need to submit a proposal. We got 4, but we narrowed it down to 3. I'm not clear as to where the funds are, if any. Does that new fund apply to the church?
I'm not sure if you're talking about the grants, Okay, we're in the grant application cycle right now.
Well, they have everything from us.
Okay.
The 3.
We haven't considered them yet. They're gonna bring us back to consideration when it closes. Is that what you're asking?
Yes. What do you need by June 1st?
all I need from you right now is just the application signed, and I'll get that to you.
Another application.
That's it.
Just the application.
No insurance by the church.
Oh, and the insurance, yeah. I need your insurance for the church.
Okay, all right, just want clarity on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
And for an update on the downtown partnership, Christina Marie.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening.
So the partnership has pretty much been busy reorganizing, again, from an administrative standpoint, as I mentioned last month. Our QuickBooks is cleaned up, our books are categorized properly and looking good. Our tax return has been filed. We got an extension, but ended up getting it filed in time. There were some Department of Ag forms that were due that were not submitted. I've contacted the Department of Ag, spoke with the representative there, and mailed them out of the post office with the signature required. So hopefully we'll receive that back on time and get reinstated.
It's our 501c3, is that our 501c3?
Correct, yes. It's just a document the nonprofit entity needs to file annually to be able to
Yes.
legally get contributions to some of that. And on a positive note, we now have a treasurer. Jonathan has stepped up, and so we have a full executive committee. He's also stepped up and volunteered to chair the EV committee, Economic Vitality. So that committee will now be active. He's already recruiting members, participants to that committee. They're very excited. Jonathan has a business background and has some really good ideas he's going to bring forward. We do have some ideas for some new events coming up, so you'll hopefully be seeing that on the calendar. Red, White, and Boom has begun to be advertised. The street market's coming together nicely. We have our music act secured. We will have a couple of musicians there. Vendors are calling and texting and emailing every day, all hours of the day and into the evening, 7 days a week. And so we should have a wonderful Red, White, and Boom as usual. Also, on the agenda is workshop dates. We need to set a workshop to speak on what the commission or the CRA and the commission's vision is for the Main Street program. We've had it for a few years now, and I think it's time to revisit what exactly does the city want the Main Street program to bring to the table. So I have some proposed dates. I'd like to have Catherine Beck. She's in charge of the Main Street program with the state. I'd like to Zoom her in on that workshop so that she can answer firsthand any questions that you all may have and help us move forward accordingly, whatever's best for our town. So those are proposed dates from Kathy are, when she's available, is Tuesday, June 9th in the morning.
Everybody have their calendar. You have your calendar. Let's go ahead and get this set if we can. Okay. June 9th is one of her proposed dates.
Yes, June 9th in the morning, 10 a.m.
I have that available. Does anybody else have that available?
Could we hear all the choices before we pick one? Because I know the city manager also.
Okay, go ahead. Give us the
Something.
other
Sure.
choices that she's given us, please.
All right, we have Wednesday, June 17th in the morning. Tuesday, June 23rd, anytime. And Wednesday, June 24th in the morning.
All the 17th.
So you've got the 9th, the 23rd, and the 24th in the AM. So what works for everybody?
Well, quite frankly, for me, I can do the 9th or June 17th.
June 17th is out because Commissioner Lori said he can't do June.
Oh, that was his date that he can't do.
Yeah. So it's either the 9th, the 23rd, or the 24th. Okay, what does everybody else look like? What do y'all look like over there for the 9th, the 23rd, or the 24th?
in the morning or the afternoon?
Morning. She's available, I think, in the morning, she said.
On what day?
She said Tuesday or what, or the 23rd.
One of the days is all day.
23rd is anytime.
Anytime on the 23rd?
Who can't make it on the 9th?
Yeah, I can do the 9th. I just wonder, does that date work for the city manager?
I'll make myself available, whatever's easiest for everybody. I'm open. I'm June.
Okay, I mean, I just assumed that we go ahead and meet if we're all available.
Is everybody available on the 9th?
Yes.
Okay, 10 o'clock, let's set that up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to push it, kind
Madam Clerk, we need to get that advertised as a workshop, please.
9 o'clock again.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
And Catherine Beck will need to attend via Zoom.
So we'll need to get her set up for here. Okay. And we'll do it here in the commission chambers.
Okay.
That'll give you time also to let your board know because you'll be meeting, when will you be meeting, the June 1st? Is that your first
Saturday,
meeting?
Monday. I don't have my calendar in front of me.
That's
Yeah.
that first Monday,
Mhm.
so you can let them know. Okay, perfect.
Mayor, I do have a question.
Okay.
Christina Marie. So you mentioned a new treasurer for the board?
Yes,
And what was that name?
Jonathan Bachelor, is it Bachelor? Yes,
Okay, is that a Crescent City resident, a business owner?
he's a Crescent City resident.
Okay, does he have a business here or?
Not that I'm aware of, he's retired.
He's retired.
He has a
with the
business,
Methodist church. I know he's very involved, I think, with Method. I believe his wife is secretary, maybe, in the Methodist church?
I'm not sure.
Something. She does the cards. Lisa, I don't know if you've ever seen her, but she does help. They do the little workshops where you create the cards.
Oh, yeah, I've been there, I've probably met her. Okay, so they're residents?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. And I guess just, for the commission, we've discussed this in the past, our MOU, or memorandum of understanding with the downtown partnership is that it just says very broadly, they will pursue the 4-point approach. And my concern is when we get reports from the partnership, and I don't know how the rest of y'all feel about it, but it would be my hope that they would report specifically on where they are on each of the 4 points, because that's our MOU.
I think that's something that we're gonna discuss in the workshop, is what our expectations are,
Well,
and so hold that
we
for
have
the
an
workshop. I know we haven't agreed.
Sure, you're saying.
But
like
that
to
will
change it?
also, no, I didn't say that, but that will be brought up, I believe, at the workshop to discuss our MOU also, because that's what really is bringing this forward is, you know, what are our expectations of the commission and through this MOU?
Right.
So,
Mayor, if I could just say, I have a deep concern, and I don't know if they're along the lines of the ones that you expressed when we discussed the funding, but I have deep concerns that we have asked them to pursue the 4-point approach, or that was their offer, and it is just not clear to me that 4 points are being addressed. And so that's just, I'm
Well,
just saying to the rest of you my concern.
and I understand that, and I think that's, we also have to understand they're going through reorganizations, and it's my understanding that there were several things that were not completed, not done, but as you go forward, that's my understanding, and I think you just said that, if you've been working on that and how to reorganize
Yes.
and better structure so that we are meeting that. Is that correct? I mean, do
That
you
is
want to
correct.
address her, Commissioner DeVito's?
I mean, you have to be able to meet those 4 points.
Right.
And it takes time, and I know that, you know, it seems like you've given you forever, but, you know, when things kind of went a little bit, you know, backwards, which I think you did last year and maybe a little bit the year before, it's gonna take time now to, you know, reset and then move forward again. I mean, these things happen. And so, and I have faith that the partnership will get along here and do those things.
But
It's valuable.
I don't ever remember a time that there was really consistent activity on all 4 points, and
Well-
that's my main concern.
Would you like me to address it?
So,
You're welcome to, if you want to come forward. So, if you would, please, when you're talking to Catherine in preparation, if you have her look at that also, so she can address to see where we are meeting the 4 points. I'm not we, but, you know, the partnership.
Yes, her and I have had this discussion within the past week. She's very aware of the status and of our current committees and what's transpired. And I think Rachel's gonna hit on some points that will help make sense too.
And if you would just for the audience, introduce you
My name is
and
Rachel
your
Kavanaugh.
position.
I'm the president of the Crescent City Downtown Partnership. For our 4 points, economic vitality, beginning of the year, Tim was having meetings that were kind of vision meetings, and we put that under economic vitality. That was what he was trying to get tourism things done within the community. For organization, we're currently reformatting and redoing our bylaws. We have another committee that is going over each point of our contract for a potential new executive director. And then we also have, that would be in the organization. And then design, we are making sure that we're advertising with the Historical Society, everything for Historic Preservation Month. And we actively, on our Facebook page, post everything that the Historical Society does, and that's design. And we're also trying to get a mural done this year. I know we've talked about a mural for a couple of years now, but we're actually going to actively work on that this year. We have signage ideas for various points in town, wayfinding signs. And then for promotions, we have an active promotions committee. There's about 15 people on the committee, and that deals with all of our events that are, especially, we just had a meeting for Bike Fest. So we're not doing 4-point approach. We are trying.
Good, thank you very much. That was very helpful. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Any other questions? Do you have any other questions?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Anything else on, everything's good with Red, White, and Boom, and we're on target?
Yeah, everything's great.
We're excited about that. That, of course, is always a big event for the community and
I would like to pass out, we have another one of our members of the partnership, Steve, he's with Big Dog Graphics. He works on our, one of our committees as well, attends all of our meetings. They're based out of Pearson. He's proposed the idea to provide a sign for Market Square. I have a draft rendering of that for you. I know it's not on the agenda, you can vote on it this evening, but I'd like to give this to you all to marinate on, and we will bring it forward again next month. But it would go, it would go where the existing sign is, the old for sale sign at Market Square that's weathered. He's willing to fabricate something that would fit in there. It would be able to advertise all upcoming events, and the event dates would be interchangeable. So we'd like to ask that the commission and the CRA board consider that for Market Square. Thank you.
okay, thank you. I love your description of that sign as your positive description of the weather.
Yeah.
And not just, it looks awful.
Celebrate.
So, thank you. Yes, Commissioner DeVita?
Bringing up that sign, it's my understanding that property is for sale. Is that not correct?
I think that property's been for sale since I moved here 10 years ago, 10 plus
You
years
are
ago.
correct, it is for sale.
It's for sale.
And it will be for sale until it's sold.
Well, I was asking the city manager actually to confirm that, because as far as I knew it was. But the sign, the for sale sign is being used as a banner support. And I'm not sure why we do that, because it is a for sale sign, not a banner support.
Because Commissioner DeVito, have you looked at that sign? That sign
Yeah.
looks awful. And so
Okay.
we as a commission, when they cover it up, actually it looks better. It's kind of an eyesore. So shame on us that we haven't done anything. And if we want that to be a for sale sign, then we need to do something better with that.
Right, that's why I bring it up, because I think we need to make a decision. Are we going to continue to have a for sale sign? If we are, then we need to have a real for sale sign and not cover it up and just use it as a banner support. And as the mayor has pointed out, thank you, Mayor, the for sale sign would need refurbishment. So I'm just raising that because we seem to be, not, I don't know, what are we doing with the for sale sign? That's my question.
Okay. Good. You good? Anything else? Okay, so we'll have this discussion at the June meeting, if y'all would put this on the CRA, on the agenda. Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else on this, I'm gonna close out our CRA and reconvene our regular scheduled meeting, and we're gonna move on to our public hearing section, which is, you've got a briefing sheet on this. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. So you have a briefing sheet for ordinance 2026-01. This is amendment to section 18.8 Code of Ordinances. It's the use of mobile motor recreational vehicles as living quarters. Purpose of this ordinance, of course, updates section 18.8 of Crescent City Code to expand regulations on the use of vehicles as living quarters and to formally establish permanent pathways for temporary occupancy of motorhomes, recreational vehicles, travel trailers, and campers in both residential and non-residential zones during construction for security purposes. Furthermore, again, for summarizing this to you guys, this modernizes our city's regulations around temporary vehicle-based living quarters, addresses the increased usage of RVs, and offers structured permanent pathways to support construction-related needs while maintaining safety and regulatory oversight. It also provides a new mechanism for security-based temporary occupancy on commercial or non-residential construction.
Mr. Holmes, would you like to read the,
Certainly. So, ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance of the city of Crescent City, Florida, amending section 18.8 of the Code of Ordinances of Crescent City as previously amended, providing for an amendment to section 18.8 prohibiting the use of a mobile home, a motor home, a recreational vehicle, an automobile, etc. for living quarters or preparation of meals in the absence of a permit, providing for legislative findings and intent, providing for implementing administrative actions, providing for severability, providing for ratification of prior acts of the city, providing for conflicts, providing for codification and directions to the code codifier, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve on first reading ordinance 2026-01, the amendment to section 18.8 Code of Ordinances.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, so we have a proper motion and a second. So at this point in time, let's open up discussion. Do we have discussion? Yes.
You got some things here, it adds recreational vehicles, and types of vehicles permitted from being used as residences. But my problem with all of this, I think it sounds really good, but we still have a lot of trailers that have been out there for a year. Okay, that people use while they were building homes, they're still out there, just on the properties. We got RVs that are not parked correctly, they're supposed to be parked, behind their houses. We have a lot of things going on that really have not been addressed with some of our old, ordinances or whatever. So now we're gonna open it up to happen more, make it easier. And I'm not sure how are we gonna actually police, I hate the word police, but how are we going to take care of it when we haven't taken care of it ever before?
And I think you're referring to, because currently on the books, we have residential.
Correct.
And we allow this for residential if they have a permit.
Correct.
A building permit, we allow a 1 year.
Correct.
We did pass that they were supposed to, if you had a recreational vehicle, if you had a trailer, if you had anything like that, it could not go past the front corner of the house. And so,
You just look around the city.
and this brings into the commercial, this is going to bring commercial into this, to give that opportunity for commercial. So do you want to
Correct.
speak to that?
18.8 already uses the term motorhomes, travel trailers, campers. They're not defined in the ordinance. Recreational vehicles is a little broader term. It might allow certain things such as motorhome, travel trailers, fifth wheeler trailers, pop-up campers, camper vans. One thing that I want to be clear about is that as the city grows, we have, of course, more than just commercial or residential. We have light industrial, and we also have agricultural. That's why it was clearly defined in this ordinance that this was non-residential and allows for non-residential. Yes, I agree, we have some issues. I have to work with our city attorney and our code enforcement officer to see how certain things can be enforced. We can address these things moving forward and be proactive. But these are things that, of course, have been happening for a long period of time. So we have to find solutions to that. The biggest issue, I think, is that as the city grows and these properties become available, there is no provision right now that allows a security trailer, and you could call it a trailer, an RV, a construction trailer, to legally sit and get electricity to be on the site while construction is taking place. It is just not in our current code. This addresses that.
Wait a minute. Isn't, I had some questions, but I have a specific question about what you just said. You just said construction trailer, that we can't allow a construction trailer. But this is a residence. Isn't there a difference between a daytime construction trailer with an office and something that is used as a residence? Aren't those two different things?
As it's permitted and for its use, I would say yes, it would be different, but as it's permitted use, it would not. It's for security purposes and to be on site during construction. And it's permitted. Right now, there's no vehicle for that. There's no mechanism for that. As far as timeframes are being concerned, right now residential allows you up to a year. I would have to do a little bit more research to see what we have on the books to see how we can enforce that at the end of the year, whether it's a new permit and fee, or if there's a certain code violation citation that can be given to move people forward in the process. Again, right now, we have nothing in place for non-residential security uses during construction.
Okay, 'cause Mayor, I don't know if Commissioner Burton's done, but I had a couple of really
You've done
specific
Commissioner Burton at
questions.
the time? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, because I follow your reasoning and I share your concerns about the specific ordinance. I wasn't sure, I raised the question, I sent an email to you and Mr. Holmes, I think earlier today. You know, what is a recreational vehicle? What are we talking about here? Because the other terms aren't defined. A recreational vehicle does not fall under travel trailer or camper or, I don't know, did you have a specific kind of recreational vehicle in mind?
So this is an answer to the question, and I apologize. I know that the question was raised late in the day, and of course, being agenda day, I apologize. I didn't get it back to you.
No, I didn't expect you to answer me. I just wanted you to know what I would be asking.
Yes, ma'am.
Just popped into my mind.
Yes, ma'am, or the rest of the commission, so I apologize, but I did get answers back from our CRA, which is our planning and zoning director who wrote this ordinance. His answer was in section 18.8, and I'll read it again, I started to read it before, already uses the terms motorhomes, travel trailers, and campers. They are not defined in the ordinance. A recreational vehicle is a little broader term, and that it might, all of the following be included: motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheelers, truck campers, pop-up campers, and camper vans. He says that if the commission would like the definitions added to the ordinance, that can be done before the second reading. So if you would like a little bit more detail, we can definitely add that.
Okay, and then I had another question. Well, my overarching question is, you're saying that this is modernizing our ordinance. But how common is this in other cities to allow people to camp during construction on a commercial property?
So in pre-construction, it happens. It's rare. It doesn't happen everywhere. But we're not like every other place. We're rural, and we also have several different types of zoning in a very, very small area. So one shoe doesn't fit all. In this case, this was our best go at it with Mark Correct and what he thought would be suitable moving forward in the future, especially since we have light industrial, agriculture, commercial, and residential. Right now, our code gave allowance through a permitting process, though short-term, either 2 weeks or a year, it was for residential. It currently did not serve any of the other type of zonings that we have in our city.
Right, okay, and then, but I think there's a reason for that. Then as well, the language that's added to 18-8D, the very last part, it's not just for permitted construction, but it seems to allow storage of materials or just on-site security for any property whatsoever before a construction permit is issued.
Yes. His answer to that was arguably yes. You could do the following, provided however the city manager may, in his discretion, authorize the permit prior to the permit issuance upon written finding that on-site security is necessary to protect the property from theft and vandalism. And that was his response. Going back to your question before, the most recent city that approved an ordinance like this was Mexico Beach as well. Of course, they did it because they were wiped out pretty hard.
Destroyed by a hurricane.
Correct.
100%.
Correct. But again, not every shoe fits. I mean, not every size fits. So it's what works for your city. We have a very small 2.5 square mile city. We have several zoning areas in our city, and this opens it up to the other areas in case we have investment and companies coming in to be able to do construction.
Well, I don't know, I'm familiar with construction trailers on job sites. To me, it seems like, to follow Commissioner Burton's line of reasoning, have a little bit of concern that we would have people living in these industrial or agricultural areas in different kinds of vehicles, and I understand that, I mean, I was here when we amended the residential ordinance. And they have to have a way to dispose of sewer waste, and they have to have not a generator, they have to have a light pole, so they're not, you know, a noise problem. But the rationale that we had for the residential properties was that people had bought a piece of property, they wanted to live on it, and many of them were constructing the property, doing the work to build a house themselves.
Correct.
And so we basically gave them a way to live on their property until they had their permanent house built. I just see this as very different, and I don't know, it just, I'm not really sure how, not really sure the impact this would have on, you know, how many people we would have living in travel trailers in all different areas and what that really gets us. You're saying that this is for security.
Yes, and there is a permitting process. If this was approved by the commission, we would come up with a permit. I would work with our city attorney to make sure that that would be correct, and they would have to adhere to that permit. And then we would have a mechanism in place for code enforcement to check that after the year.
So I do know that when we did this, I think probably one of the last ones that was done, on a residential, that property owner was very concerned because he was a little remote. And he had construction materials delivered out there, and he just wanted to make sure that there was a presence there. Unfortunately, that trailer is still there, and they've long since gone past, and approved their permit. They have, so that's, I understand where Commissioner Burton's coming from. My question would be that, and oftentimes when you have a development, say you've got a development or you've got commercial construction, sometimes they'll have security overnight. They'll have security stay there overnight to protect their construction products. My question would be, Mr. Holmes, is it possible that rather than put this into the ordinance, the way we are doing this, that on a case-by-case basis, they could come to our planning and zoning, or come to us, or whatever mechanism, so that it's more on a case-by-case basis? How could we do that and not?
You could provide for this particular use in the nature of a special exception. You may call it conditional use, different jurisdictions call it different things, or even a variance, but probably variance would not be the more appropriate, probably would be special exception or conditional use. You could provide for it in each of your zoning, you have permitted uses in your zoning categories, and then you have uses by special exception. And you could provide for this as a use by special exception in your zoning categories. There's a difference between authorization and enforcement. And sometimes you get hung up on the fact that you haven't been enforcing your ordinance when that's a different issue altogether. That's because y'all haven't been enforcing your ordinance. But that doesn't mean that making an allowance for this sort of thing is bad. It just means that you gotta enforce your ordinance. And I don't know whether or not your magistrate is set up to hear. I don't remember the authorization. I've even never seen it. I don't know whether your code enforcement, your magistrate, your hearing officer is set up just to hear violations of codes like cleanliness of premises, care of premises, those kinds of things, or if they have carte blanche to hear any violation of your code. However, that's easy enough. That's an easy fix. The point being that in your ordinances like this, you could provide for a violation and one that would, and give the code enforcement officer, or not officer, but the hearing officer, jurisdiction to hear those types of things and impose a fine similar to what you do on other code enforcement matters. So somebody has a permit for whatever, length of time, granted by your ZBOA or zoning planning commission, right? For security purposes while construction takes place. And as you said a minute ago, y'all granted it, the trailer's still there, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, code officer brings a code case, goes to your standard process through your hearing, and fine of X dollars a day is imposed if it's not removed at a certain time, and you go from there. It's actually gonna probably be more enforceable with commercial property than it would be for residential, because obviously if residential is homestead, you can't do anything to foreclose your lien. Commercial property isn't exempt. So actually your commercial property would probably be an easier topic for enforcement than your residential would be from that perspective. So, you know, philosophically, I don't have a problem with the idea of people having, like it or not, building materials are increasingly expensive. Theft of building materials is increasingly more profitable, meaning that people take more chances to steal them. If it is a remote site, then, I mean, your options are limited as to how you protect your site. Yeah, you put a fence up, but they're cut easily, and then people resort to putting dogs out, and there's a problem with that. I mean, it's just an issue. So personally, I feel that philosophically, I think allowing for, and I agree with Ms. DeVito in that a construction trailer is not what I was thinking about when I saw this ordinance. Construction trailers are usually used as an office during the daytime. And that's where you guys come to look at blueprints and all that good stuff. Maybe they store some stuff in it too, but you know what I mean. These types of trailers where we're saying they can be used for habitation, that's a security type thing. And like it or not, I think especially in an area where you're rural, you don't have your own police force, you don't have a bunch of officers, it's something that may be a big deal to somebody who's coming in and looking at building something if they can't have some kind of security on site.
Well, I think it works pretty well, you know, outside of Crescent City. You know, you say, oh, we're pretty rural. We're really not. We're a city. We have police, or sheriff here. Everybody knows what everybody's doing, okay? I mean, that's pretty, well, we do.
I didn't say you didn't. The report today though was about a burglary. The report today was, the first report from the sheriff's office was about 2 burglaries though, at the same residence. So, you know, everybody may know what everybody's doing, but it doesn't stop people from doing it.
No, exactly. But what I'm saying is, you're saying rural. Yeah, we're kind of a small city in a rural area, I guess. But I think something like this might work out in county. But it has not worked out for us here in the city. I don't think that it's worked out here in the city. We haven't had a lot of it, but what little we have is still hanging out there.
My understanding, the topic arose because a specific property owner asked about the possibility of doing it, and there was no provision for doing it. Was that not correct?
That's correct.
So, a commercial, I was told it was a potential commercial builder that wanted some assurance that his materials were not going to leave the site and was looking for security on site. But you're the policymaker, so if you don't think that's something that you want to do, I just want to make the point that enforcement.
If it's a commercial builder that comes out and is going to build homes or something like that.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be homes because right now you're allowed in residential. I'm talking about a commercial builder building commercial property.
I think that they should come in and ask. It doesn't have to be under an ordinance. They should come in and we should have something that says, hey, yes, you're gonna be building this commercial building or whatever, and yes, you can stay, and after a year, you gotta go. I think that would work. But I don't even like that you said, well, if it's a home and it's on the property, it almost sounds like, even if that year goes by, okay, we can put a lien on it, but we'll never get the money, and the thing is still there.
Well,
see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me to be able to do that.
Well, I don't know that I said what you said I said. What I said was, you're not allowed to foreclose on residential property that's homestead, period, and that's true. So that remedy is not available on residential property. I don't care whether they've got a camper trailer there for 6 years, you can't foreclose on the property. You could foreclose on commercial property because you can't homestead it. So what I simply was trying to say was, you actually have more enforcement options on commercial property than you have on residential. Now, there are many things you can do to enforce your code besides just putting a lien on it and trying to foreclose. You can bring an abatement action, obviously. And the abatement action says, you got something here that's violating the code, it's not supposed to be here. If you don't take care of it, we're gonna take care of it and charge you for it. You can do that, no doubt about it. Obviously, abatement actions they require you to put up front monies or monies up front. But yes, you could bring a suit to abate a condition on property, and that would include removing a home there. And you can get it done, but your lien might not ever be paid unless they sell the property at some point, because you can't foreclose on it. And that's the distinction I was trying to make. There are enforcement mechanisms, and if you're a rich town or county, then abatement is a very, very useful tool, because you can afford to put the upfront money in litigation to, enforce your code. Knowing you may not ever get it back. You won't get it back unless people sell the property. But my point was simply that in the case of commercial property, you have more options because you get a lien for the abatement. They don't pay it. You bring the suit to foreclose the property. And you can, because it's not homestead, it's not protected.
So, but what, just for clarification, just because you cannot foreclose does not mean that we cannot file, that we can't file against them and put a lien on that house.
Correct. And if they ever sell it.
Unfortunately, we can't enforce that until something happens. It either changes ownership, as long as it's homesteaded.
If it's homesteaded, and there you go, some of your property may be abandoned, may not be a primary living accommodation, so it may not be homesteaded, so, you've got those things. But I totally agree with the idea that if you don't want the city manager to grant these, then having one of your zoning boards grant them is definitely a viable option. Some jurisdictions do it that way,
On a case-by-case basis.
On a case-by-case basis, yeah, actually.
So that it just wouldn't be a blanket across the board, that it would be on a case-by-case basis.
Right, the person comes in, and as you know, with conditional use permits, they have the right to put conditions in place. So i.e., you mentioned location of the unit. In a conditional use application process, your board would have that right to say, you can put it there, but it's gotta be here, it's gotta be hooked up to utilities. If you need screening, so it's not unsightly because the area is nice and your neighbors don't wanna have to look at the underpinning or not. They don't wanna look at a trailer that doesn't have underpinning, cover up the pipes and stuff. You can put all those conditions in place.
Okay.
But we still have to pass an ordinance that makes for that process as conditional use.
Right, you just amend your zoning ordinance so that you would add that as you can't grant a conditional use that's not articulated as a potential conditional use in each category. So you decide which categories you want it in, and then put those in under as a potential conditional use, if it's approved by, I don't know whether you use a ZBOA or a planning commission for that.
Planning.
But whichever you use for that, they would have to approve it, just like they would anything else.
And again, I agree with you. There's a difference between, the enforcement and allowing this to an authorization and the enforcement's on us. And we're not upholding that. And so I think that's a whole nother conversation that needs to be had. So Commissioner DeVito.
Right, and as we're talking and people are bringing forth points, one thing that concerns me is this exception, the original exception that we did, you could have, basically, the way our ordinance worked in Crescent City was we did not want people living in temporary trailers. That was the basic principle for trailers in Crescent City. We don't want you living in temporary recreational type trailers, whatever. But if you had a company or whatever, you could get a permit for 2 weeks. Then we broadened it so that someone building a home who was going to make their permanent residence here, we would give them a permit to live on their property as a resident
For 1
while
year.
they built it, because it's their property and they want that's gonna be their home. This is a little bit different. We are saying you can live on a non-residential property for up to a year solely for security purposes. And I guess for me, some of those implications that the city attorney talked about, like appearance, are you gonna have some screening, whatever, we're really kind of opening the door to an unknown number of people living in very temporary vehicles, like recreational vehicles. And and we're giving kind of a blanket authorization, like if someone is constructing something for commercial,
But they
industrial.
still have to come in and get approval. They still have to get
Yeah,
city
but
manager
I'm saying-
approval, so it's not just a
Still have
blanket.
to have an active building permit.
Another thing that has to happen is has to be an active building permit
Well, no,
or in the process of permit with the county. The other thing
I
that
understand that, but I'm saying if, just in my mind's eye, because once we enact an ordinance, it's here, and we gotta live with it, and all the neighbors gotta live with it. I mean, potentially, you could have travel trailers up and down 17. I just wanna think about well, there are a lot of potential construction sites, including, the Winn-Dixie that's converting to an Aldi's, something going in on Save-A-Lot. There's a lot of potential, sites. So I get the mayor's point more on a case-by-case basis, because the way this ordinance reads, if you have a construction site, we pretty much have to give you the permit. There's no reason not to.
Not necessarily, I mean, there has to be a direct tie-in to city utility to be able to do that.
Right, but I'm saying, when you have those conditions, anyone who's building on commercial property, it's not a conditional use. You pretty much will get it if you meet those three. We're giving an open permission. So I'm just trying to think about, what that's gonna look like.
You mean under the ordinance that you're looking at right now, not if you, which is not what had been suggested. The ordinance you're looking at right now is not what was last discussed. What was last
Exactly.
discussed
The
was
mayor-
creating the conditional use
Correct.
vehicle to allow this particular.
Right, and that's more limited, and it addresses potential neighborhood or scenic concerns. I mean, that makes sense.
And we have to just determine if we do that, would it go to P and Z or would it just come directly to us? Who would we want to do that? I know oftentimes special use permits, P and Z handles those.
I was gonna say, it's gonna go to P&Z.
Yeah, P and Z handles those. So that's something, so commission, do we have any suggestions? Any suggestions? Where do we want to move forward with this? How do we want to move forward? I currently have a proper motion and a second. I haven't opened it up for public comment yet, but do we have any other suggestions here and how we want to move this forward? It's my understanding we have had a property owner who has approached you and brought it to your attention. That's how this was brought to your attention,
Yes,
correct?
Yes.
And so we realized we have a deficiency
yes,
for those that are trying to develop and have an issue
correct.
with security and
Correct.
possibly in an area that could pose itself
Yes,
for an issue.
absolutely.
So what do we want to do?
Well, to me, I thought your proposal was very beneficial one. And could we send this back to have it tweaked so that, trying to find
I
so
don't
that
even know if it
the,
would go in this. I don't know that it would
Right.
go in this. It would go.
And it would have to go to P&Z.
So we would abandon this current one and stay where we are currently with how our ordinance 18-8 is written.
Right.
And take it.
Prepare an ordinance that amends your zoning code. That's what you'd be doing, is preparing an ordinance that amended your zoning code to allow for these types of uses as a conditional use in whatever zoning categories you want.
It's your pleasure, commissioners. You made the motion. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any input on this?
To me, it seems this is well thought out. I don't know, going through a conditional use permit or going through this process, to me, it's the same thing. I mean, all you're doing is slowing down the process really for a business owner that wants to do construction. If they're having to go through conditional use, it's just coming in front of a public hearing, which they'll have to schedule. Whereas having the the city manager's office approve it, would be more, be more speedy in my opinion. But, you guys seem to be terrified of trailers all up and down.
If I can add, I think the biggest concern that I'm hearing is that it could lead to a possibility of an overrun of RVs on properties. I don't.
You may think it's funny.
No, I don't think it's funny. I think it's serious because I don't want it to happen. I live here too, and I don't want to see it. And I think it can hurt business, but I also hear that there's been issues longstanding that we have not enforced our current code and to help clean up some of these areas that people have abused the commission and previous commission's kindness. So I will work with you all and my code enforcement officer and our council to see how we can legally approach those problem areas and those issues, and we'll take care of that. This again is a whole nother issue that I think moving into the future, to be able to allow investors to come in and have an option of being able to secure their sites while they're here working, and it is temporary, it's not
Okay.
long term.
Okay, I understand, but I, in reading this, and I understand where you're coming from too, am I fearful of this? No, I'm not fearful of this, except for the fact it's blanket.
Right.
And we have no conditions on this.
Okay.
So there's no conditions that you have the ability to set on this as long as they have electricity and they can hook up. So there's no conditions that you can set on this. I've gone through a special use permit. I had to get a special permit and go before P&Z. And they had conditions. There were conditions. If you look down at Bell's Bistro, when they converted that, they had a list of conditions that had to be met
Yes.
in order to get that conditional use permit and a special use permit. And so when you do that, if they're in violation of one of those conditions,
Right.
that's an issue.
Right.
This, there's not, it would be like not storing your garbage, could be a conditional use. So not that we don't want to, deter anybody from building here, but I see both sides of it, and I see that, the way it's written, while it's well-written and well thought out, and we realize that there's a deficiency here, I think also it doesn't allow for anybody, you, planning and zoning, us, to put conditions on that.
Correct.
And maybe I'm wrong, Mr. Holmes.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying.
So that's why I feel that other mechanism, might be better in more in our best interest, because, P&Z will review it, they'll have to come in, they'll have to give them a plan as to what they're gonna do, they're not just gonna park an RV, or they're not gonna, you could have a trailer parked there that's, we've seen some of those motorhomes that park in our park that look like they're about to fall
Sure.
apart.
Sure.
And that's really not the look that you want on these properties. You don't know what they're going to park there. And so this doesn't allow us any latitude with that.
Okay.
So,
I understand. One thing too, and again, this was to thinking about the future of people coming in investing. I'm not sure if it would always be an RV or if it would be one of the vehicles that we discussed. I hear what you're saying, and I'm just wondering if this is a good time, if we're gonna kick this back for right now, working with legal and counsel, if we put the same teeth that we're talking about, conditions, into the residential part, even though I hear that it's a little bit more of an issue. It sounds like that's where we've had issue recently. And so maybe we can rewrite it as well to have conditional aspects added to the residential part. This code itself was mirrored what we already had just in residential. All it did was mirror that,
We
same
understand.
exact, okay, all right,
and like we said, we've got a trailer that's been moved,
Yeah.
but it's still sitting on the property.
correct.
Okay, so,
Yes.
yes.
But can't you have a trailer on your property, or is it that it's in the wrong spot?
No, it's the permit's long past,
Right, but are they still living in it?
No.
no, but it's not
Just
parked
sitting there.
properly.
That's what I'm saying, it's not in the correct location.
Right.
Okay.
It's still there.
Well,
So I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example, and I don't want to get into that.
So does your zoning prohibit you having a RV or
Nope.
a camper or whatever
Nope,
at
it
your
just has to
property?
be parked at the
It-
furthest,
Behind,
the
can't come up in
at
front.
the corner of the property, of your house.
can't be
of your residence.
the frontal plane of your house.
Yeah, exactly, thank you.
It can be in the side or back lot.
It can be on the side, back lot, it can be in your backyard, it just cannot go past the
The
front
front
plane
plane.
of your house. And we do have that.
Yeah, we do.
And we put that actually in
We got it all.
we put that a couple of years ago, we made that stronger for that reason, because we had trailers, you know, and not just a RV, but just regular trailers and things parked all over the place.
So if that's already in your code, that's already
Yeah, it's already
enforceable.
there.
That's
That's
in
enforceable.
Orlando right now.
That's already there and it's enforceable. I'm gonna, at this time, before we, do anything with this, I'll open this up for public comments so we can hear from the public. Please, if anybody in the public would like to, speak, please come forward if you have anything you'd like to say on this issue.
Here on a different issue.
Well, this is about
You
this
can't
issue.
talk about this,
You can't talk about
No, I'm gonna talk about this.
I'm kidding, but how are you today?
Charles Ben, I'm here on something else, but I'm listening to this and I want to give you another point of view. You got a lot of people that are not the wealthiest in the world. And rather than add additional controls over people's private property, why don't you wait till there is a problem and create this like an if-then statement? This is how we want our city to be. This is what we expect from our city. If you cause such and such a problem, then we have the authority to enforce and bring that issue to your attention. And approach from that standpoint rather than creating anticipating that there's going to be a problem. Case in point, you want to have investors come into this town. All right, well, make it easier for them. Don't add additional hoops before you break ground. You gotta come get another permit. Why? Most people that have money and want to build are going to be responsible. Let them watch their property. Let them watch. I just built a fence. A little tiny pile of lumber cost me $2,000. I'm not gonna ask anybody's permission before I protect what belongs to me on my property. Now, you have a certain degree of control ahead of time. You can be the good guys and set an example and ask them to set an example, and it can already be in your, in fact, it's already in your zoning that you have the hammer. Just don't come out there waving it before people even get started. There are a lot of poor people in this county, a lot of poor people. I grew up one of them. But if they're physically able, then there's nothing about a poor person that can't get out there and pick up his lawn, or mow his lawn, or fence his dogs, or whatever. You don't have to lead with a stick. How about you lead with the authority you already have and say, if you don't live up to these standards, rather than having to pay up front for a permit, if you don't live up to these standards, we are going to come and visit you. And you can do that for your codes enforcement, you can do that for your zoning issues. You already have the authority. And I think, I'll defer to you on this. I think it was Ben Franklin, was it, that said the government governs best that governs least? You already have the authority. So be prepared to use it, but otherwise this looks like just more control. This looks like a grab control. You're anticipating this problem, so we're gonna add some more layers of control here. You're gonna come get a permit. It's gonna cost you some more money. And I think you should probably flip the script on that, look at it from the other standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other comments? Seeing no one come forward, I'm going to close public comment at this time. We currently have a proper motion and a second approving this ordinance as it's currently written with no changes. Is that correct? Okay. So how do we want to move on this? Are you ready to take a roll call on this and then move on? Or do you want to withdraw, or do you want to go forward? It was your motion.
We just all voted down. I don't know why we're drawing motions all the time. But I can withdraw the motion.
I can do a roll call. I can do a roll call. Just because
I'll-
there's a
I'll
motion
withdraw my
there
motion.
doesn't mean that we all have to approve it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can do a roll call unless you,
I'll withdraw my motion.
okay, you've withdrawn your motion.
That's fine.
Okay, you withdrew your,
I withdraw my.
okay, so we've withdrawn the motion in a second. Do I have a new motion? Does anybody have a new, direction to the city manager on how you want to move forward with this, seeing as we have seen that there is a deficiency and there is a request and a need?
Well, I guess, Mayor, to me, and I could make a motion if I have a good sense of exactly where we're trying to go. Mr. Beam said we're restricting things, but we're really trying to open up an avenue to people to provide security. We just want to make sure that we do it in the best way possible. We could ask the city manager to take this back to Mr. Correct, to go back to the drawing board and see if we can find a better way to do this that has a little more control, whether it's to make it a conditional use or to put some specific criteria in that language with respect to non-residential
Can you want to put that in
properties.
motion for me? Does somebody want, so we can move on? We've got
Sure.
people waiting, and so if somebody
Well,
wants.
you've got an ordinance on your agenda, what are you gonna do with that? You had a motion to approve it, you withdrew the second, so it's sitting here now, you
It's
gotta make a
sitting here,
motion.
so we've got to,
It's been advertised,
it's
correct?
been advertised.
So if we don't want to re-advertise, we can bring it back if we move to table it, is that correct?
To a date certain.
Yeah, to a date certain.
I'm under the impression this is not gonna be touched.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's gonna be something totally different, so I think with this, in this case, if this is not what you want, you all have a vote to
No one voted down.
vote it down.
So I reinstate my motion.
Okay, so you reinstate your motion, do you reinstate your second? Yes, he
Go
is.
ahead.
Do you want to
Vote it down.
reinstate your second?
We
You
vote.
gotta,
I
you
need a
gotta, you
second.
gotta vote on it.
Yes.
Well, why, I don't understand, why can't we table it and send it back to be?
Because we're not.
It's gonna be a different ordinance.
And that's what I'm saying, if that's something that you want to, if that's your recommendation is that then you're gonna put it in here. That's not where we were talking about, where that would go if they were having to get, a special use permit.
It would be a different.
It would be different.
process.
I don't know, I think I would like to give, Mr. Correct that option, and, I mean, an amendment's an amendment.
But I think we need to move forward, vote on it. If we vote it down,
Okay,
then
And then you
we
can
can
make a
ask him to go back to correct. and
Okay.
Just do exactly what you want, I think.
Okay, so I currently have a proper, reinstated motion. I have a reinstated second, is that correct?
Yeah, if it's voted down, then what becomes of
It failed.
This is done in.
It just fails, and then it goes
We go
back to the
forward.
chalkboard or the
And we
drawing
would have
board.
to
And that was on me,
First
I
reading
should have, I
and
wasn't
then-
thinking about the fact we had to move this ordinance. So we currently have an ordinance, are you reinstating your second? Commissioner Moore?
I'll second it. I mean, I will second, so we can get this done.
Who's seconding it? Who is seconding it?
She said she would
Okay,
second.
so she's okay, so I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Burton,
No.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lori,
No,
Commissioner DeVito,
no,
Mayor Myers.
No. Okay,
Okay.
so it's failed, so
Now
the
it's
ordinance. Okay, so now I need a motion for, the direction that we want to send to the city manager. Go ahead, Commissioner Lori, please.
I move that we direct the city manager to come back with a new ordinance, making this process either part of a special or a conditional use, and amending our zoning ordinance, or whatever you feel is appropriate, working with Mark Correct and our city attorney.
Thank you.
Yes,
I have a second. We have a proper motion and a second. Do we have, any further comment on this?
no, my comment is, I think we might be able to use the same format and use chapter 18 if they could put conditions for the permit directly into this ordinance, but that, they might not feel, Mr. Correct might not feel that's the way to
And we'll
go.
leave that up to Mr. Correct. That's the direction we're giving them now.
Sure.
He and the city manager and our city attorney to work that out. So I'm gonna have, ask the clerk to do a roll call for us, please.
My apologies, Mayor.
That's okay, and so what we have is we have a motion from Commissioner Lori, and we have a second from Commissioner Burton to send this back to Mr. Correct and our city manager and our city attorney to,
Redo the process.
redo the process and have a different vehicle to bring this to us.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. So approved, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for the
you.
direction.
So let's move on to ordinance number 2026-02.
Thank you, ma'am. So ordinance 2026-02, I'm gonna ask to table until June 11th. I have talked to legal counsel and we need to fine tune this a little better than it is right now.
Okay, can I get a motion to table this ordinance as requested by the city manager?
I move that we table ordinance 2026-02 as requested by the city manager until June 11th.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a proper motion and a second. Commissioners, do you have any, do you have
Mayor,
discussion?
I have some specific concerns about the ordinance. It seemed to go beyond, what we discussed in the workshop quite a bit. I sent some questions to the city attorney and the city manager. I don't know, I mean, I think if the city attorney wants to take another look at it, that's great. But I think it creates some problems and doesn't solve some of the accessibility problems that we could do as a city. The thing that concerns me, one of the things that concerned me was it gave a blanket prohibition to golf carts in our parks.
I saw that too.
And I just want to share with the commission, I don't think golf carts in the parks are our main problem. Actually, motor vehicles driving in our parks are the problem.
That's a different argument though, and a different kind of.
No, I'm saying, but usually you make an ordinance to address issues if you're gonna prohibit something. I know, the mayor uses her golf cart for various purposes in the park. And there are some people who are not, well, there are some people who are fairly disabled who use their golf carts to access our parks. They don't tear anything up. And I see families with children kind of doing the same thing. So I just wanted to share that I have a significant concern about that.
Thank you.
And if I may,
Yes.
to address your concerns is really the reason that I would like to move this, because we want a little bit more time.
Okay.
It was asked how it was derived, and so in our last meeting and discussion workshop, there was an ordinance 2025-07 from Indian Harbor Beach, and also that was for their microbility, and then there was also 2026-03 recently passed for Indian Harbor Beach that was specific to golf cart operations on municipal streets. This is where most of the data came from. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. This is something that other municipalities have in their current ordinances, but we are going to make sure that it's correct and that it also aligns with state statute. I'm gonna bring it back in June. I apologize if I wasted anybody's time.
Okay, no, that's, I mean, we have to start somewhere, and ordinances are not easy always. I mean, the devil is always in the
You're
details.
trying, yeah, you're trying to put everything that you think that.
Right.
That we want in there, and sometimes we don't even know what we want in there.
Right, I mean, the ordinance, but Mayor, can I just speak to one thing? A golf cart ordinance is very individual to an individual community. We are Crescent City, we are not Indian Harbor Beach. I'm very familiar with Indian Harbor Beach. It needs to meet the needs of our residents, and anyway, y'all bring back what you think.
Well, with the caveat that there's a state statute
Right.
that provides what you can do with golf carts on not just state roads, but public roads.
Which is why we
And that
started.
state statute makes it very clear that you can increase the restrictions that are contained in the statute, but you can't relax them.
Which is why we've
So-
had this whole conversation,
Yes.
because the state law's changed since we first enacted our golf cart ordinance, and it was in conflict, so.
But
we just-
the state law only speaks to sidewalks that are adjacent to roadways.
No, it doesn't. It speaks to any public roadway. State,
I get that part, but I'm saying the part about prohibiting golf carts in parks.
oh, I was talking about the,
That would be,
No, that part,
that's different.
I'm saying
Put in
that,
another layer.
I'm saying that, I don't think it's necessary for us to do that to comply with state law.
Yeah.
That's my point. That I understand we have to comply with state law, but we don't have to add things over and above if it does not suit our particular community. That was my concern.
And I think while we jumped on this and we were ready to do it, I still think there's some things in there, some e-bike legislation. Has he signed that into law yet? I don't know if he
That
signed
was
it
my
into law.
question.
Yeah, so I don't know if he signed that into law, so that might, rather than do this and then bring it back. And then also I found that, and I know you've talked to the county, but there is some, I believe, some legislation and statutes that you can cross if it's designated over a
Yes.
county road.
Yes.
And so we've got to be able to allow that too. So that needs to be built into this, obviously, as well, and just not say that you can't on 308.
And that process has been started. I've got a process with the county to do that, and that process, the conversation has
The
been started.
conversation, but there is, it's in statute too, that you can do that if it's on two roads that cross it.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Mayor, do we need a motion to table?
We already have
We already have a motion.
Oh, we do.
We have
Okay,
a
sorry.
motion, we have a motion to table this. Do we have any public comment on this? Okay, seeing no public comment. Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call for us?
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so table. I do, yes.
We have short.
I know we want to break, but I do want to say
We have
this.
people sitting out.
We've had people sitting out here for 2 hours, and I understand we've been sitting here, so if we can hear them, they're up next.
Yeah.
Let them get through, and then we'll take a quick break. Are you okay with that, Commissioner Lori? Do I need you to? No? Okay. With that, let's have Pam, and if we can do this for right now, and if we can do it in reverse order, if the commission is okay with that, we have two of these, and
To
then
do
we
the
can,
liens.
yes, and we
Yes.
can do the first lien and then come back and do the second lien after.
Absolutely.
Okay. Or do the second lien first and then
Yeah.
come back and do the first one.
Thank you,
Okay?
thank you, Mayor, I appreciate that. If I could now have Pam.
Yes,
Where did you go?
We're ready.
you're ready. You're up.
Just one.
And I do want to say we had a consent agenda. We had nothing on the consent agenda. And this is in our business items. So I'll close our public comment at this time and we're going into our business items.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna start with you, Lucas.
Yes, thank you.
Quick close. My computer's not plugged in anymore.
Oh, boy, I saw that. Don't blink. Not blink.
Good evening. Pamela Taylor, Code Enforcement Officer. We're going to start with case number 25-0025. Loretta and Russell Bridger at 306 Eucalyptus. They are present here. don't know if you want to give them the opportunity to speak, but they're requesting a lien reduction because they wish to sell their home on Eucalyptus. I believe you have pictures in your packet already. And I took a picture this afternoon and left it on the dais with the request for lien reduction. And
They already have a buyer, correct?
yes, and he's here.
Oh, okay.
He is here.
This is Brian Higgins, he is here. If you have questions for him.
Do you want to go into, Pam, if you would, Ms. Taylor, if you would, please go into us with the lien reduction, what they're requesting for a lien reduction.
They requested $1,500 on my presentation here. I just have a brief pictures here. This was taken April 22nd, 2026. This was taken May 29th, 2025, the day that they were supposed to be in compliance. And this breaks down the lien, $16,450 by percentage, and then the administrative cost of $203.12. Mr. Higgins submitted the lien reduction form for Mr. and Mrs. Richard and requested $1,500.
Okay. In the agreement to do what? So he's willing to close on this property and take possession? And so we would reduce.
Would you like him to
his-
answer those questions? Okay, Mr. Higgins, would you like to help, please?
Is the property in compliance today?
No. Come right up here and speak to the microphone. This is Brian Higgins.
Hi, good evening, guys. Thanks for
Hi,
having
thank
me
you,
here.
thank you. I know you traveled over from Jacksonville, I believe. I met you earlier.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You know, he asked I think, a relatively important question.
Thank you.
So it's not in compliance.
No, his
You
question.
have a picture that I took this
I
morning.
know, I'm just,
Right. Mayor, could I ask, how is, I can't really tell from the photo what the issue of non-compliance is.
They put a tarp up over the,
Okay, I got it. I see in the, kind of the left background.
yes,
Okay, so the objects aren't removed, there's a tarp, and that is not acceptable.
correct.
Okay, but, Mayor, if I could I just, I might be thinking along similar lines to you. I would really like to know, what Mr. Higgins is planning to do with the property and, how he plans to maintain it once he takes it over. Does that sound like a reasonable thing we want to hear?
Quite reasonable. So we're Fader and Company. We buy, sell, renovate in Northeast Florida. So we're very active in Putnam, Clay, Duval, Baker, Nassau, all over the place, but we're very focused here. Our intention is to buy the property, renovate it, and then resell to an owner occupant who intends to keep up the property and be a good tax-paying citizens.
So you're gonna resell it and you would not be renting it, correct?
Not to my knowledge. So we do hang on to them as rentals sometimes, but this looks like a good opportunity to resell to an owner.
so how long is that gonna take you to, I mean, are you gonna bring it back to compliance and
That's the plan.
that is the plan?
It typically takes us about 60 days to renovate a home and
Okay.
get it back on the market. Sometimes a hair longer, sometimes less, but that's pretty standard.
Yeah, it's my understanding that you were at closing when, I believe you had,
We were very close to
You were
closing, and
close,
then
okay.
title uncovered the lien.
and then the lien kind of
So-
popped up about the same time.
Yeah, if I can explain, anytime we go to buy a property, we want to make sure that the homeowner has someplace to go next.
Yes.
We're not in the business of putting people out on the street. The amount of lien would prevent the Richards from moving and buying a new home. So it would eliminate our ability to buy it, and then they wouldn't be able to move. And I think that that would prevent the complete cleanup and renovation of the property, which is our goal.
Okay. So, Mr. Holmes,
Ma'am.
how do we remedy this since they're not in compliance?
So, I don't believe y'all have ever passed a formal policy governing leave reductions. I've recommended it in the past. And that, you don't have one right now, so it gets, the good news is you have a lot of latitude, the bad news is you have a lot of latitude, and you don't have a platform or a guideline to make sure you're consistent from case to case, which is an issue for me, may not be for you, but from my perspective, most lien reduction processes that I've been involved with, Putnam, City County of Putnam, City of Palatka, Interlochen, a first criteria is that the property be in compliance before you come and ask for a lien reduction. And then from there, I think in the past we've discussed some criteria that you could talk about in each case so that you try to have some consistency. Criteria like how long has the condition existed? Has the condition impacted surrounding properties? Is the person that's asking for the lien reduction the person that allowed the condition to accrue? Lots of things like that. How much would it have cost to remedy the violation? And then you can look at each one of those things and maybe it helps you compare cases case to case. So what was, and I was looking in the packet to see, what was a specific violation that was determined?
Chapter 10-20.
Well, what?
Duty to keep your property, maintain your property.
So it was a care of premises.
Yes.
And the issue was all of the, I won't call it junk because some people might call some of the stuff I have junk, but all of the items that you see in the picture in the yard, that was a violation.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned tarp.
It's not in that picture.
Not in that picture.
Okay.
I took a picture this afternoon.
There's a carport that was filled with
If I could
items.
jump ahead, because there was new information in the lien reduction request. And they submitted a request for a lien reduction, and as I understand it, this is what is stated here and signed, that there's both a financial issue, that, as Mr. Higgins said, the current owners don't have the financial means to clean it up. And as well, one of the owners is an over-the-road truck driver and has to be away to make his living. And the other owner, it says right here, I'm reading, has COPD and severe asthma. She's here in a power chair and is not able to do the cleanup. So to me, I don't know about the rest of the commission, but I see very special circumstances here. I don't think we can make people do things that they are completely not able to do. So this seems to me to be the best way forward, because we wouldn't want to turn this into, I don't know what else we can really do.
Right. I agree.
And I think also, this was a situation that happened, like you said, Mr. Richards.
Can I speak?
He's on the road a lot, yes, you can.
I'm the professional driver.
Okay.
My cousin, 2 years ago, came to us. He had been living in the woods, not able to provide for himself correctly and everything. We was kind enough to let him move in to the property as long as he kept the place up. He was the one taking care of the yards and everything. As y'all can tell, my mom cannot get up to cut the grass or anything physically. So I cannot legally take off 3-4 days every month just to take care of the yard periodically. My company only allows us to come back in after 2 weeks of being out. I try to stay out 6 weeks at a time. That way I can stay in a full week when I do come home. But unfortunately, sometimes I can't do that. Like back in February, I was home for 2 weeks with no pay, trying to get that mess cleared up. Then I came back in March, same thing, 2 weeks. Then in April, just last month, I was home 3 weeks, no pay for 2 of those weeks. It struggled, we struggled bad. And then that time we was in the process of selling the house, which we was trying to get everything cleaned up for the new homeowners to be able to just walk in, do what they need to do and walk out. Then we find out that we have a lien on the place, we can't do it. And I had to go back out on the road. So,
Thank you, and thank you for, I know that, coming before us, I know this is and we apologize, it's a difficult process, but we have to address it, we've got a process here, so.
yeah,
Yes, go ahead and make a motion.
I move that we reduce the fine to $1,500 as was requested in the fine reduction, on 306 Eucalyptus Avenue.
I'll second that.
Can I make a
Yes,
suggestion?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
No.
You need to.
So it would be my suggestion that you make the reduction, whatever reduction you make, contingent upon the property being brought into compliance within a certain period of time. And if it isn't brought into compliance within a certain period of time, then the lien reverts back to the original amount. Then the amount of the reduced fine be paid within a certain period of time also. Otherwise,
I got it.
I agree,
That
so
makes sense.
closing is, when do you have closing scheduled, is it next week?
We'd like to do it within a week if possible.
Okay, so we've got a week, so I think with your motion, I don't know how you want to do that, because,
I was gonna say, with that, the $1,500 fine be paid within 7 days. I don't know, and that the.
If I can,
Sorry.
we generally would pay it at closing.
Okay,
yes.
so, which would be next week, 7 days.
Actually,
Well, you
it's
never know,
coming into
closing,
compliance
Okay.
so you.
is the most important thing.
Okay, so,
Okay, so
Let me
once you're in compliance, can you do that within a week, you think?
I hope so.
Well,
And if you could do
It's
this,
just the items in the yard.
which I had already.
Okay.
Whoa, wait a second, we got a lot of, order, point of order. We got a lot of people speaking. Yes, we do. So we've got Commissioner Lori is trying to
I'm sorry.
clear up his motion. And so let's let him finish, and then Commissioner Burton has something to say, but I'm gonna need a second after he does this, and then Commissioner Burton. So go ahead.
So for the $1,500 fine to be paid at closing, whenever that is, and if the property is not brought into compliance within 30 days
Of closing?
of closing, it reverts to the original fine and continues at that point. Does that work?
So are you saying, you're giving them 30 days to bring it into compliance?
Right, which doesn't sound like it's gonna need, but. I
To
mean,
clean everything up.
Clean everything up and make
Clean
sure it's all.
everything out. He said he usually turns these in about 60
Right,
days.
so it's gonna, unless.
So, and I
I'm
guess
gonna have a little bit of time.
I like that because, the money will be paid. I like that the compliance is not required until after closing, because that gives the property owner time to take anything out of there that is hers, that is, she's able to take out.
so the only problem with that is that they're gonna require satisfaction of lien at closing.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
And so that means that you've got no teeth after closing. You've got $1,500, but you don't have compliance.
It really has to be, it has to come into compliance first, then we go to the lien. I think that's the way it has to kind of be.
Okay, so we can't give the 30 days. Can it be compliance at the time of closing?
I mean,
Yeah.
sure. Well, no, I'm just saying, they're gonna want the lien satisfied at closing. I'm sure they're gonna want a clean title
Yes.
policy, right? You guys did a lien search at some point, or somebody did, a municipal lien search, and they found a lien. So they're gonna want that satisfied, meaning that you're saying, okay, our lien is no
Okay,
longer.
everybody, wait a second, let Dawn finish. I'm sorry, everything picks up and they have a very difficult time with all the voices, so.
So when they pay or when they satisfy the lien, you have no more hook on this scenario. So as to how you do that, that's kind of up to you, but You know, they're gonna want the satisfaction as of the day of closing. So and the day of closing, you want to expedite. I assume everybody wants to expedite so that everybody can get on about their business and they can make alternate arrangements and all that good stuff, I guess. So, you know.
I think within reason, we have closing scheduled for the 20th, but if we need more time to get into compliance, we could extend for another week, I suppose.
May I?
But, yes, go ahead, Pam.
If you reduce the lien and it's paid before closing, we can do a release of lien. If the property is not in compliance after they take possession on the 20th, 30 days later, I can go and I can start a new case and we'll have a new lien against a new owner. I don't think that's gonna be the issue.
Right.
Because they intend to clean up the property, they wanna make money, they wanna fix it up and sell it. So I don't think compliance is really an issue with this case.
And if I look at that picture compared to today's picture, already
It's
it's
already,
It's a
they've already
huge
made
difference.
progress.
right. So
Right, they've already attempted to
Right.
clean it up some. A lot of it's gonna go when they move.
Correct.
They have a lot of
What is
boxes and
behind the
things.
turf is all coming with us. It is bulkier stuff. That's why it's not moved out of the open yet. One is a big toolbox. I gotta have special equipment to get it out of the back. That is why it is still there. That's why
Okay.
we had asked her if we could just put a tarp up. She told us we could, and it would be good. That's what we did.
So.
Okay. And Pam explained that to me earlier when I was talking to her about how we remedy this.
Right.
Because that's the concern, it's like you said, John, it's not being in compliance. And I guess that's the only mechanism we have, is that we do that and there's nothing that for the new owner, that if they don't bring it into compliance, that we can increase it more than what we currently have.
They're already at 50 a day, which is more than the minimum 25 a day, right?
Yes.
The hearing officer, they're at 50 a day, you said?
Yes.
So it's already higher than what it was. But no, you have flexibility if you want to go the route that you suggested, which is go ahead and let them move on to closing as quickly as they can to get everybody
Yeah.
situated, and then she's correct. If they don't bring it into compliance, then you can go back and start a new case out, or start up a new case. You just don't have much fine at that point, so.
And this is more, I think, again, and I think our attorneys have always told us this too, is our code enforcement is not about making money, it's about enforcement and
Compliance.
and compliance and getting things, the way they should be. So, do you want to put, let me just ask you, a question with yours. Did you put them to close within a certain amount of time?
No, I just said at closing.
At closing,
So,
okay.
so that'll give them a week or 2 weeks, whatever they need, or 20th.
So we have a proper motion and a second. You're still good with your second? Okay, we're still good with our second. Do we have anything? Yes, Commissioner DeVito?
So does the motion include the 30 days for compliance, or has that been taken account of? I mean, no, it was my understanding that the code officer was just recommending that we require the fine to be paid at closing and not have any requirement for compliance.
Okay, then I'll drop the compliance part. So, and we'll just start over if we need to.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Yes, there's a second.
If Mr. Higgins needs a clear title and release of lien
We're gonna
at
have to do it
closing,
prior
he's gonna
to.
have to pay it before closing.
Right.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Can you pay tonight?
I can't pay tonight.
Okay.
I would just see if we get the lien reduction. We could probably make arrangements prior to closing.
All right.
Okay. Dawn, you're okay with,
We have it scheduled for the 20th.
do we have we put something in place that properly, as best to our ability?
Oh, you can do what you're doing. You can legally do what
I
you're
just
doing.
wanna make sure, Okay, so we currently have a proper motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Thank you, and Mr. Richard, thank you and your mother, for coming tonight, and for sitting through this, and we just wish you the best. I know for health purposes, we just wish you the best in your new adventure, and you know that we're going to hold you accountable.
Well, thank you guys very much, I appreciate that.
I appreciate you
And oh, by
guys.
the way, welcome to Crescent
Well,
City.
thank you, this is an item we didn't experience, I appreciate you having us.
I understand you're going to Oregon? Is that where
Yes,
you're
we
going?
are.
A very safe trip.
Yes.
We gotta do, I gotta do this for her health.
Uh-huh.
We don't have, yes, my
Yeah.
grandmother's 8 miles out, my uncle's 8 miles out. But neither one of them will come to her if she needs it.
Right.
We're out there, we got family and friends, well, friends that's gonna come when she calls.
Okay.
That's my main thing.
That's.
She fell Friday morning. She was on the floor for 2 hours
Yes.
before she could get up.
Yeah, it's not good.
I was 3 hours away. I did not know about it until 5 o'clock Friday morning.
Yeah.
She's stayed like that till I got in at 1, 2 o'clock, and then me and her went to the hospital.
We wish you the best of luck.
Yes, I wish you the best of luck
And please
and
tell,
safe travel.
please tell Ben that he will be missed. He's a good
Thank
worker.
you, Michelle.
He's a good worker.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, at this point in time, I'm gonna take a recess, a 7-minute recess.
Does your money from your, do your code enforcement fines go into a fund for,
The unhinged.
your code enforcement